In 2019, Team USA won the Overwatch World Cup for the very first time, ending South Korea's 3-year reign as champions. The US even enjoyed 2 series victories over the Koreans en route to that triumph, following South Korea's first ever World Cup loss to France at the start of the Blizzcon group stage. A World Cup title, as well as beating South Korea, had been the 2 biggest goals facing Team USA, and with the country achieving both of these aims in 2019, the American players and fans were unsurprisingly overjoyed, especially after 3 years of struggles on the international stage, including their most disappointing and embarrassing result from just a year prior. Heading into the 2018 Overwatch World Cup, Team USA was full of confidence and had their sights set on a destined third encounter against Team South Korea, the nation that had eliminated them in both previous tournaments. In spite of coming up short in 2016 and 2017, it did appear that the Americans were closing the gap year after year, and many media outlets and analysts alike started to write the 2018 narrative. But on their third attempt, Team USA could be considered a pre-tournament favourite and had a genuine opportunity of beating South Korea on the World Cup stage. This hype and excitement only continued to build in the run-up to BlizzCon, especially after the country announced the 7 players who would represent them that year. On the tank line, Moomer and Space had been selected, after the pair enjoyed strong inaugural season performances on the Houston Outlaws and LA Valiant respectively. The support position meanwhile was made up of Moth and Raucous, probably the 2 best American players at their respective positions at that time. It was a DPS trio, however, that created the biggest buzz amongst fans and analysts alike, with the United States choosing Sinatra, the country's young DPS prodigy, Hydration, the team's Swiss Army knife flex DPS player, and lastly Zachary, who, like the US coach Aero before he turned the Fuel season around, came from the incredible contenders team Fusion University that had been dominating the North American Tier 2 scene in 2018. On paper, this was a roster that oozed with quality and potential, whilst also being led by one of the most promising coaches in the competitive Overwatch scene, so it was fair to say that expectations were at an all-time high. Starting off strong, the USA officially confirmed a spot in the World Cup final 8 at BlizzCon, after finishing first at the Los Angeles qualifier, an event where they even handed Team Canada, the 2017 silver medalists, a convincing 3-1 defeat. All eyes were now on BlizzCon, and if there were any doubts about who the US had their sights set on, Raucous made things pretty clear in his post-match interview, following their victory over Canada.
You know what? It feels so good because my goal, personally, is I want to beat South Korea. That's all I want to do. I want to win I want to win the World Cup.
The only question that was really left was to wonder when the USA would actually face South Korea at the 2018 Overwatch World Cup. But not long afterwards we would get that answer, and discover that the 2 best nations had been placed on the same side of the bracket, only 1 win away from going against each other head-to-head in the semi-finals. With South Korea likely to beat Australia later that day, all Team USA had to do was defeat Team UK to set up a semi-final match against the Koreans that many thought would decide the eventual World Cup winner. No one expected the British lads to pose the Americans much of a problem, especially as they only qualified for the BlizzCon top 8 as a regional 2nd seed, having been handily defeated 4-0 by France at the Paris qualifier event. Moreover, aside from the Philadelphia Fusion flex support player Boombox, the rest of the United Kingdom lineup consisted of just contenders players. 3 of the 7, Kib, Mikey A and Fusions, came from the talented contender side British Hurricane, while Smex played for NRG and KSP for Samsung Morningstars. Cruz meanwhile had just signed for the Paris Eternal, but despite his vast competitive Overwatch experience, he still hadn't yet played on the Overwatch League stage. Overall then, Team UK may have had some really interesting talents, but in terms of perceived quality and top level experience, they just simply seemed outmatched compared to the US squad. I mean, just listen to what Aero had to say about his team midway through their match against Canada, in regard to how they matched up against all other opposition.
I think the biggest thing is that we're super adaptable with what we can run. You know, that was the whole point with the roster that we put together and how we practiced coming up to this, was that we can adapt on the fly, and that's our thing. And so we're rolling with the punches. Every match we've done up to this point, we're showing that we can do that. We can run any comp, and we can stomp everybody with it.
Woo, spicy.
The series was scheduled to kick off the 2018 Overwatch World Cup BlizzCon Top 8 on November 2nd, and to no one's surprise, a huge number of American fans filled the Blizzard arena. With the contest just about set to get underway, Golden Boy turned to his analysts on the desk, Reinforce, Sideshow and Bren, to see who they would be predicting for this upcoming match.
like everyone's kind of looking at this game and they're like, USA looks really, really strong. But
yeah,
honestly,
it's an easy pick for me, Golden Boy. It's like USA all the way. I'm sorry, lads.
Wow,
it's the easiest prediction of my life.
I don't want to come across as too biased, but I think the UK have vastly improved from last year. I think that they are taking it much more seriously than they were in the past. They have players that all want to get onto teams and want to prove themselves. But the USA are just looking too good at the moment. I'm going to have to go with the USA as well. I think it's kind of unanimous across the board.
Yeah, I mean, across the board indeed. And Bren?
I wouldn't go that far, Golden Boy. Now, you know, like
Lord,
me,
no. Here
I'm
we go
a big
again.
fan of the underdogs. I always like to root for them. And I mean, in this situation, I've been living in the United States of America for quite some time now. And for that reason, I am actually going to be going with the United States of America today.
Yeah.
I'm going against my home crowd.
Bren, I've seen this before.
Or am I?
Monty did this to me before.
Or
No,
am I?
not again.
Or am I? Oh, no, not even I'm dumb enough to go against the United States of America. USA all the way. Bless this country. I'm trying to get myself a green card. Let's go to the casters, Golden Boy.
All right, let's go to the casters. That's it. I quit. Okay, goodbye, everyone. It's been a great World Cup.
Map 1 would be Control on Ilios, and the first round seemed to follow the script perfectly. Team USA were in perfect control behind Hydration's Pharah, as the UK's GOATS composition was completely shut down every teamfight. During this opening round, the US registered 24 kills and unbelievably 0 deaths, taking the point 100% to 0 also, with Sinatra already showing his confidence to the delight of a loud US crowd.
Barrage, that'll connect with two. Two from the barrage, but the damage has already been done. The United Kingdom are very low on personnel at this point. Sinatra is just going to be there for the cleanup. A tactical crouch, of course.
A Widow Goats variant finally saw the UK gain some momentum on the second round of Ilios, Ruins, but Team USA were eventually able to regain the initiative through their own Sombra Goats. In the end, a brilliant engagement from Muma's Winston, with the round tied at 99 to 99%, made all the difference, eliminating Boombox, who had been popping off and arguably carrying the UK that round.
Mikey, who would love to set up on the high ground and claim his perch for his own to get safe damage down, and Raucous is likely to get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, Hydration has a lot of different ways he can change this potential last push. Right now, going after Mikey, it gets really low, but the health pack comes up just in time.
It's like he was backing up into the health pack. He knew it was there, but he almost missed it. Mikey does go down. Muma also commits to that engagement. Look at this, he's found himself a Boombox in the backline. That's not good at all. UK needed Boombox in the fight. The healing is so important, and Muma finds yet another one. Support seemed to be his diet of choice right now, and he's eating like a king. Across the points, Mex will be desuited. Kim had to commit himself to the point when he's on his own. The rally now to come out for a little bit of extra health, but it's not enough to buffer against the damage of the USA. 99 to 99, and overtime is getting close to ticking down. The UK are forced just to drift onto the point. It's not very convincing resistance from the Brits, but now the drop down will be from Fusions. He switched over to Wrecking Ball. A lot of health, a lot of mobility, but it's going to be tough for him to retake control of the point, and as soon as he leaves it, that one is done.
One map down, 1-0 to the USA. Everything seemed to be going according to plan, with Team USA firmly in control of the series after the opening map, and this momentum certainly continued into the escort map that followed, King's Row. The UK did manage to take the first point, but then most of their time bank was quickly drained as the United States brutally spawn camped the Brits after convincingly winning the GOAT's mirror. Led by an almost unstoppable Sinatra Zarya, the USA ended Team UK's attack with the payload just short of the second checkpoint, and for most, this seemed to be a very achievable distance that would likely take the US to a 2-0 lead at halftime. But it was at this point where things started to change. Again in the GOAT's mirror, this time it was the UK that found itself in the ascendancy, defending the first objective. The lads' coordination in particular made all the difference, with the UK having an ultimate response for everything the US threw at them. To compound things further, Mikey A utilised his Zarya bubbles far more efficiently than Sinatra, opening the door for Fusions to impose his will on the frontline and decimate the USA with his Earth Shatters. To everyone's surprise, the 4-minute time bank just quickly disappeared, and with Team UK wiping the remnants of a final fragmented US push, they full held King's Row and astonishingly had levelled the series 1-1.
Get ready for a second fight. The USA are now throwing whatever they can at the wall just to see what sticks, and that might have done it. Earth Shatter comes in, Boombox knocked to the ground. It's going to be a sound barrier though for the United Kingdom. All that damage from the USA not really having much of an impact. Now Raucous is forced to go for his own transcendence, but he's knocked out of the way. Fusions shoves it down the side, and Mikey gets yet another graviton surge. Oh no! The USA dominated more chance, Matt, one more fight to capture this point A, or we're going to have a tied series.
Wasted the one before that, but that was a really sick grab there. From Mikey A, you're going to have another shatter here from Fusions. This is UK's to lose here, Mitch. It would be a big upset in map number 2.
Last chance to lose for the United States. Now Hydration going quite low to a fire strike, fired off by Fusions. Not trying to push forward. Space goes deep and sets up a self-destruct. This could be nasty, but it's shielded off by the entirety of the UK. Hydration trying to push forward on that Brigitte, but he's lacking support, and now to Fusion. Turned his face towards it. That's it. And on their home ground, ostensibly, on Kings Road, the UK show up and snatch the map away from the one team that everyone thought would be indomitable. The USA are the ones with the egg on their face now.
Assault would see the teams travel to Volskaya, where we witnessed a very entertaining back and forth contest, where in particular the DPS players Kib and Zachary traded blows as well as the highlights. Team UK started off strong, completing the map with 2 minutes still left in the time bank, but the US came back with a vengeance, completing the map themselves, but with this time over double the time bank remaining. In spite of the time deficit, the lads again hit back well, once more capturing point A, before catching out Muma early just before overtime started, to give them a 6v5 advantage when attacking point B. The UK looked poised to complete the map for now a second time, but then Space rocked up on the scene to deliver a massive Diva Bomb explosion, which stopped the Brits in their tracks and roared the crowd into life.
Muma is the brave man to step up for Geronimo, he says, but he exits almost as quickly as he enters. Sinatra's taking low space! Oh, he's done it again! First it was the next group stage, and now it's here. But will it be enough to get the USA out of trouble? Mikey A on the point, getting dashed into by Zachary. The Dragon Blade coming out now. The Brigitte are one kid, and Muma helps out. Specs is being forced away. He will eventually be removed from this fight, and somehow the Hail Mary self-destruct for Space once again finds the mark. And the UK are barely going to get back to the point in time. Unbelievable stuff.
Now we can check this out from Space's POV. We are in overtime. In the actual game, you can see that on bottom right, but Space, oh man.
Importantly, however, the UK still managed to post 76.3% on point B, and although the United States had over 4 minutes to play with, a slow take of point A brought us to a very tense team fight for point B and the map win, as overtime started.
It can be done, but I'll be honest with you, they're up against the wall. They've got a sound barrier here from off, but Boombox has that transcendence. UK have made a few hero switches, so they're obviously reset on ultimate percentage on Kib and Mikey A. Sinatra in a good minefield over on the point, could set things up quite nicely. They're trying to isolate Smex here, who's getting killed by that Orb of Harmony. He needs a little bit more help, but Zachary's down early. Mikey picks him off on the Brigitte.
And that was big because they were trying to build up that Dragon Blade, potentially get that Nano Blade going. It'll be a self-destruct from Space. You connect with Specs in the back.
Yeah, Sinatra now using the minefield, creating a bunch of space, and the Transcendence comes in from Boombox over the point here, trying to keep his team alive against the grenades and the extra damage, but Fusions jumps on Muma comfortably enough. Fusions gives up his life to get rid of the enemy Winston. The UK have been given time here, time to react, time to regroup, time to set up. Sinatra knocked back there by Mikey A, who's defending staunchly his supports in the back line, but Zachary's found Specs once again. Now it's time for the Dragon Blade. It's now or never. He's going in. Kib's found two. Zachary's removed though. Cruz, who used to be a Genji main, knows just how to deal with that kind of stuff. Now it's a last chance for the USA. Desperately they throw themselves at the point, but Muma is removed. Orb of Discord's so powerful here, and Boombox is channeling that Zenyatta prowess so well. EMP just to finish the job, and Raucus is caught on that one. Nothing he can do about it. And the Three Lions take it 2-1. They lead the series now against the absolute favourites of this tournament, Matt.
So the series was now 2-1 to the UK? Nobody predicted this would happen, and with their opponents now on match point, the US side now found themselves under a lot of pressure with their backs against the wall as we went on to the escort map, Route 66. It just felt like everyone was waiting for the USA to grab control of the series again, as they had on the opening map. But once more in the GOAT's mirror, it was the lads that decisively came out on top, with the UK escorting the payload first. The United States tried returning to heroes like Pharah or Doomfist, but the United Kingdom's relentless push just seemed to keep on going, eventually seeing the Brits finish Route 66 with an impressive 2 minutes still in the time bank. The writing looked to be on the wall, but the USA would not go down without a fight, battling their way through the first section of the map, before just getting back in overtime to reach the second checkpoint after Fusions had compounded the Americans' misery further with yet another deadly shatter a minute earlier. In the end though, the clock did the United States no favours, and Fusions hit the final hammer into the US coffin.
It is not pretty, but they extend their tournament didn't think we'd be saying that for Team USA here.
The day's just started.
But I will say though, UK, that is what I was talking about. They did complete what they needed to do. Ult's gone across the board for everybody. Hero changes just to make it back. You reset some ultimate economy. You can keep playing what you were already playing for UK here at the end, and you made them waste so much time.
Oh, look at that. You see, Muma really wanted that Earth Shatter, but it was obvious. It was telegraphed. Fusions knew. Okay, my opposite number's really trying to knock us down right now. How about I show him how we do it better here in the UK? And that is so big. That is huge, not only because the United Kingdom win the fight, but they've done more damage in this fight, which means they're going to get that next wave of ultimates just that bit quicker, which puts the USA further behind the 8-ball.
So what you look at here is, Mikey is going to use this grab, right? You have Raucus with Transcendence. Do you invest it or do you save it?
No, straight away he's going to use it. Space tried to eat up that Graviton Surge, but nothing doing. There it is, the shield push back, broken, Muma down. Spets with the self-destruct found not only the enemy Reinhardt, but also the D.Va mech. 22 seconds left in the tournament life potentially for the United States of America, and they seem to have very little left in the tank. 2 support ults available here for the United Kingdom. Cruz and Boombox are ready.
You play aggressive. You get both support ults. You're going to have Shatter. With the way Fusions has been nailing these Shatters, you get right up in their face. That's going to be Sinatra down, and you have this Shatter coming into play for Fusions. Let's see how he uses it.
That's it. Fusions putting the hammer and Hammersmith, and now he's going to bring it down one more time, and there it is. If there was any time, it was right there. And the United Kingdom complete the upset we never thought we'd see. It's game one, and the USA are out of the Overwatch World Cup.
Heading into the 2018 Overwatch World Cup, the United States only had their eyes on South Korea, and ultimately this proved to be their undoing. The UK lads not only performed better on the day, but proved they had a far better understanding and synergy running the GOATS composition compared to their American counterparts, and consequently, this laid the foundation for this incredible upset victory that completely embarrassed Team USA, made a mockery of all the analyst predictions, and saw plenty of American fans quickly scurry for the exits. Team UK would later be eliminated by Team South Korea in the semi-final, but easily gave them their toughest test, before entertaining us further in a really competitive 3-2 loss to Canada in the bronze medal match. Their displays at this World Cup would launch the Overwatch League careers of nearly all of their players, and although the USA would get revenge a year later, the damage was already done, with the UK having completed one of the greatest upsets in Overwatch World Cup history, and there was only one individual outside of the United Kingdom who honestly believed this was possible.
So a question on a lot of people's minds is, which team is Jeff going to endorse in the upcoming Overwatch World Cup, which will be happening at Blizzcon? And it's going to seem a little bit shocking at first, but the answer is I am supporting Team UK all the way to the end.